Hi everyone, Petrik here. So for today's video, this will be my July book haul video. I will be talking about all the books that I acquired in the month of July. And honestly speaking, I'm recording this on the last day of July. And tomorrow, I will be flying to the UK. So there's a really good chance you will be seeing this video after I'm in the UK for some holiday trip and also for Worldcon. And of course, there is a really good chance that as you're watching this video, I'm in the middle of getting some books on some bookstores like Waterstones. Hopefully, anyway, I'm really excited about the potential of going there. I will definitely go there, Goldsboro, Waterstones, and all that, and I will show you my my book haul from my UK trip. But anyway, these are all the books that I acquired in the month of July. This is not a big book haul, not as big as all the previous months. This is only about 10 books. I think 10 books if I'm not mistaken, but yeah, this is still much fewer compared to my usual book haul videos. And yeah, I think it is about time I start decreasing the number of books I got anyway. But for the month of July, I only bought one book, and it is a manga. It is My Hero Academia Volume 38 by Kohei Horikoshi. This is the newest volume in My Hero Academia. And yeah, this will be finished on the 5th of August. So depending on the schedule, on when I'm posting this, there's a chance that My Hero Academia, the manga, is officially finished in the Japanese anyway. So yeah, it is possible to read My Hero Academia to the end now. And it is one of my favorite manga series, and I'm collecting every volume in the manga series. I love Horikoshi's drawing, I love the storyline, I love the way the author utilized the superpower in the storyline, and yeah, definitely looking forward to doing a second read or maybe a fourth read. I forgot how many times I have read My Hero Academia, but this time from the beginning to the end, yeah, to the completion. And after that, let's talk about all the books that were sent to me by self-published fantasy authors and publishers. Let's start with the first one, and this is actually in collaboration with Zoran from Fantasy Friends. I think that's the name of her book club. But this is And the Sky Bled by S. Hati. This is published by Bindery. And this book, the way Bindery works is some book reviewers are chosen to represent the book they chose to be published through Bindery. So it is like, it's like they function as a taste maker. And that's what Zoran did for And the Sky Bled. And yeah, this is the book, and I look forward to reading this one. I heard plenty of great things about it, and hopefully this will be as good as advertised. From the premise of the book, it seems like this story will revolve around 3 main characters, and it has been advertised as a climate fantasy. And yeah, I look forward to reading this. This is quite a unique cover art as well. And then I got this, I think, urban fantasy, or maybe historical fiction or murder mystery. I have no idea, but this is Beasts of London by Jonathan Mahoney. Oh, sorry, I meant Jonathan Maloney. And yeah, I think this one is a story about a detective who have to find clues and solve the mystery behind a murder of a man that died after falling from the sky. Other than that, I don't know too much about this one, but this is quite an intriguing and beautiful cover art. I'm a fan of white cover art, and yeah, this book got it. And I have always been a fan of murder mystery, so I hope this one will be a good book. And after that, I also got this book called The Heretic from Nathan R. Allen. And this is the first book in Runes and Ruin. And this was sent to me by the author. The author emailed me saying that he has been a fan of my YouTube channel, and also, well, apparently the author worked on Star Wars animation and yeah, the television. And I think that's really fascinating. I am looking forward to reading this, I think, fantasy or science fantasy debut from Nathan R. Allen. And yeah, the cover art is done by the author as well, which I think is very awesome. On the back cover, it is mentioned that this book takes place in a world with runes where magic and science combine. So yeah, I think it is safe to say that this will be a science fantasy, and yeah, I love reading science fantasy. And finally, the last self-published fantasy book that I got from author, this is A Memory of Song by Scott Palmer. And yeah, I haven't read this supposedly grimdark epic fantasy debut, but well, the author is a huge fan of R. Scott Baker's books, The Second Apocalypse, and also I think A Song of Ice and Fire as well. More on The Second Apocalypse. And yes, I get it. So many people told me to read The Second Apocalypse, and I will start reading that within this year, this time for sure. The Prince of Nothing. I think that's the name of the trilogy, the first trilogy in the second apocalypse. But as I mentioned, A Memory of Song, this is a self-published fantasy debut from the author Scott Palmer, and this is a hardcover edition, and I look forward to reading this one, especially because I'm a fan of reading grimdark epic fantasy. Also, before I start talking about special edition stuff, well, this is not actually a special edition, but it almost feels like one. Well, it feels like one, even though this is a paperback, but take a look at this. Almost every chapter contains interior illustration like this. And yeah, I think Palmer Pickering went all out on this lit RPG novel. And yeah, that's another one. Hold on. Ta-da! And yeah, there are so many artwork inside this book, and I'm so looking forward to reading this. I don't usually read lit RPG, but ever since the popularity and praises for Dungeon Crawler Car, I'm certainly looking forward to reading more and more lit RPG as well. Either this one or Dungeon Crawler Car first, but thank you so much to Palmer Pickering for sending me a copy of this book. And moving on to the next book, this one still counts as self-published book, but this one is also a special edition. This is an endless edition of A Time of Dragons by Philip C. Quantrill. And yeah, this is the first book in the Time of Dragons series. The title of the book is Once There Were Heroes, and this is a big one, really big. And this contains spray edges done by Katrina Paints, and also this map illustrated by Tall Jack Shepherds. I think that's the name of the cartographer, Jack from Tall Shepherds. But yeah, I have been a fan of Philip C. Quantrill's book. I have read the entire Echo Saga series. That is 9 books long of epic fantasy. And this one is a prequel series. It takes place about thousands of years before the events of the Echo Saga. So I think most of the characters in the Echo Saga series will not appear in A Time of Dragons series. But, well, many people have said that this is shaping up to be Philip C. Quantrill's best work. And wow, that is a good advertisement in my opinion. I definitely will read A Time of Dragons series. And then this beautiful endless edition, this is actually acid-free paper and also Smithsonian binding at an affordable cost from the Broken Binding, and I think that is a really nice touch. Yeah, looking forward to reading this. And now let's move on to traditionally published books. Let's start with the first 2 books that I got from the Broken Binding again. This is The Black Tongue Thief and the Daughter's War by Christopher Bullman. This is the first book, The Black Tongue Thief, and this is the prequel novel, The Daughter's War, but it is published after The Black Tongue Thief. And I'm a fan of The Black Tongue Thief. I like The Daughter's War, but not as much as The Black Tongue Thief. But if you are a huge fan of Galva and you really want to know more about Galva, well, The Daughter's War is a book for you. But just remember, this is not one with a good humor, in my opinion anyway, because humor is a huge part of The Black Tongue Thief, but this one doesn't contain a lot of humor from my perspective anyway. I definitely did not smile once reading The Daughter's War. It is quite grim, filled with brutal tale, and of course it is told in a diary format from the perspective of Galva and one of her brothers. And yeah, please do give it a read if you still love reading The Black Tongue Thief. I think I'm on the unpopular opinion side when it comes to my opinion on The Daughter's War. Most of the reviews for this one have been very positive after all. And now I have 2 more books to showcase, and the next one that I got, it is Spicegate by Prasant Srivatsa. This is a South Asian inspired fantasy debut, and well, it is said that this one should work for those of you who love reading The Dandelion Dynasty by Ken Liu. That's one of them anyway. And also I think the Deva Bhatt trilogy by Shannon Chakraborty. And of course, I'm a huge fan of The Dandelion Dynasty by Ken Liu. And well, anything that Ken Liu writes, I will definitely read them. And this one has been advertised to be suitable to those who love reading Ken Liu's writing, so I will try to read this as soon as I can. Plus, I'm a fan of reading South Asian mythology and also history in my fantasy books as well. And finally, the last traditionally published novel that I got, this is The Teller of Small Fortunes by Julie Long. I'm quite excited about reading this one, and I certainly will read this debut novel from Julie Long, because the author, very smart of her in my opinion, because she gave me these incentives to read this book even more. Yeah, she gave me these tidbits that once I reach a certain page or a certain chapter, I have to open this little pages and see what's behind the scene of these books. These are simple things, but I think it definitely enhanced my enthusiasm to want to read this book earlier than expected. But ever since I saw the cover art done by Devin, I was instantly intrigued by this cozy fantasy novel. And yeah, I do read cozy fantasy or slice of life novel occasionally because I think they are necessary in the middle of my serious and big epic fantasy reading. And on the back it is written, a wandering fortune teller finds an unexpected family in this warm and wonderful debut fantasy, perfect for readers of Travis Baljery and Sangu Mandana. Tao is an immigrant fortune teller, traveling between villages with just her trusty mule for company. She only tells small fortunes, whether it will hail next week, which boy the barmaid will kiss, when the cow will calve. She knows from bitter experience that big fortunes come with big consequence. Even if it's a lonely life, it's better than the one she left behind. But a small fortune unexpectedly becomes something more when a semi-reformed thief and an ex-mercenary recruit her into their desperate search for a lost child. Soon, they're joined by a baker with a need for adventure and, of course, a slightly magical cat. Tao sets down a new path with companions as big-hearted as her fortunes are small. But as she lowers her walls, the shadows of her past close in and she'll have to decide whether to risk everything to preserve the family she never thought she could have. So yeah, I'm very pumped about reading The Teller of Small Fortunes sometime within this year, either in September or in October. That's the plan. Anyway, it depends on my reading mood. And now, moving on to the final section of this book haul video. As always, time to showcase some of the books that I got from Press Ize Press. The first one is Your Letter by Hyun Ah-cho. This is a standalone tale, only one volume, and it was originally a web comic. This one, I don't know anything about this one, but you know, take a look at this. This is a fold-out interior art, and it is front and back. See, it is gorgeous, right? I think this is something that many special edition company can learn to use in their fantasy and sci-fi books. It is beautiful. I've never seen anything like it in traditionally published novels. But yeah, this is a web novel. This was originally a web comic, and now it has become one volume comic. As I said, the reception for this is really good, and I will try to read this as soon as I can. I'm sure I can get this done in about an hour. I think. But yeah, after that, I got this several books. As always, I will just mention them because I don't know anything about them. These are all unsolicited review copies, and I'm thankful to Press and Ize Press for sending me these books. First one is Playing That Games to Put Food on a Table. Yeah, this is the cover art. And after that, I also got this Demon's Crest, Reality and Erosion by Reiki Kawahara. This one is a light novel. It is not a manga. And I guess this one is the same. Oh no, this one is a manga. This Monster Wants to Eat Me. And then I also got a copy of Apocalypse Bringer, Minogra or Minogra. I have no idea what that is. And then after that, Sister and Giant. This one. And the last two is A Sinner of the Deep Sea, which depicted a mermaid, and finally Miss Savage Fang. And yeah, I have no idea what the stories are behind these books at all. As I said, these are unsolicited review copies, but I don't know. I'm always a fan of reading manga, and also I want to try reading more light novels anyway. So I'm thankful for all these review copies, not only from Press, but also from traditional publishers and self-published fantasy authors. But yeah, these are all the books that I acquired in the month of July. And of course, as always, do tell me what you think about the books that I got this month. And let me know how many books you acquired in the month of July. Which one was your best acquisition? As always, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your support. Bye-bye. Lastly, I want to say thank you so much once again to all my patrons who keep on supporting me.